A leaked recording captures the final moments of a man in Virginia's electric chair, audio that was never meant for the public.
To get to 306 in its title.
Mr. Rangi?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We are now the chamber.
Mr. Rangi,
Yes.
we need to get 306 clear. The governor's office is calling.
Debbie, they're strapping him in the chair.
And here's where things take a darker turn. This wasn't some documentary clip or a reenactment created years later. The audio came straight from deep inside Virginia's death row, recorded during the 1980s and 1990s and hidden away for decades. The kind of material that was supposed to stay locked behind government walls forever. What makes it even more unsettling is how the tape surfaced, not through officials, not through investigators, but through a quiet leak, whispered into certain circles before anyone could stop it. No names, no explanations, just a chilling recording suddenly appearing, carrying the weight of a real execution gone wrong. And then you hear it. The sound. Not cinematic, not processed, not edited for effect. Real electricity tearing through a human body. The kind of sound that hits you in the spine before your brain can even process it. A violent hum, a crackle, a burst of raw static that feels alive. There's no music underneath, no narrator trying to tell you how to feel. It's just the room, the machine, and a man seconds from death. What makes the tape unforgettable isn't just the electrocution. Everything is happening around it. Voices overlapping, staff arguing. People are unsure which phone line connects to the governor, a phone that's supposed to work but doesn't. Rising panic disguised under clipped, shaky professionalism. The recording captures something no official report ever mentions: chaos. Protocol falling apart in real time. A death chamber that sounds more confused than controlled. The system designed to carry out the state's harshest punishment was suddenly revealed as fragile, unorganized, and terrifyingly human. One wrong number, one missed call, one failed phone line, and everything could have spiraled out of legal boundaries. This leak didn't just expose an execution, it exposed the machinery behind it. The fear, the hesitation, the frantic whispers of people realizing the system might fail at the worst possible moment. And this is the story hidden in that chilling audio. And then there is the man who is the main character in the whole drama, Richard Thomas Boggs. He was only 27 and was facing the worst possible punishment. He was no stranger to tragedy or struggle. His crime was actually a result of extreme measures, drug addiction, and a life that was getting out of control. Boggs killed his neighbor, Tribe M. Shaw, an 87-year-old widow who had been a family friend, a father's best friend to be exact. This information adds another layer of horror. It wasn't random, it was personal, tragic, and a victim of circumstances. And then, just 2 decades after his birth, he found himself at the electric chair of the Virginia State Penitentiary in Richmond on July 19, 1990. It is very difficult indeed not to take a break and think about what was going on in his mind in those last minutes, or what the personnel felt like when they had to deal with someone who, despite being young, was facing death so closely. It is a procedural error and a human tragedy.
The warden is now reading the court order to the inmate. It is now 10:48. The warden has completed the reading of the court order to the inmate. The team is about to enter the cell. It is now 10:49. The inmate is now stepping out of his cell. The team is carrying the inmate into the chamber.
The tension is now building up. At 10:48 p.m., the warden sums up the court order intended for Richard Boggs. You can almost hear the silence in the room, the moment's heaviness engulfing all the people present. 1 minute later, at 10:49, Boggs is out of his cell, with guards on either side of him, his every move slow and intentional, as if the whole scene was frozen in fear. Office personnel literally carry the man into the execution chamber and strap him into the electric chair with their hands. Sure, but careful. The room seems to be holding its breath together, and it looks like everything is going smoothly. But the tension is very much there, even if it is hidden. The tiniest of movements, the quietest of instructions, reveal the magnitude of what is about to take place. And just when it looks like the whole process is proceeding calmly and is under control, the first signs of miscommunication appear.
The governor's office needs to get to 306 in its tower.
Mr. Rangi?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We are now the chamber.
Mr. Rangi,
Yes.
we need to get 306 clear. The governor's office is calling.
Debbie, they're strapping him in the chair. Hold on a minute. She said the governor's office is calling. They need...
This part blew my mind. Almost immediately, the governor's office is trying to get through, and the connection keeps failing. Staff scramble, voices overlapping, trying to figure out which line, 306 or 230, is free. You can hear Debbie, Mr. Murray, and Mr. Trangi all speaking at once, each trying to coordinate, each confused. It's a tangle of words, pauses, and frustration. Someone checks the switchboard, another repeats instructions, but the line stays tied up. Every second counts here because, by law, the governor's office must have a clear line during execution in case a last-minute stay is granted. The confusion is so thick, you can feel it through the recording. It's not just a technical problem, it's a human failure unfolding in real time, and it nearly jeopardizes the entire execution process. By 10:53 p.m., Boggs is fully strapped into the electric chair, every belt tight, every connection double-checked. Staff are tense but precise, moving with mechanical focus, ensuring nothing is left to chance. Debbie keeps a meticulous track of the time, documenting every small delay, every hiccup, every pause in the chaotic lead-up. Even with the inmate in place, the room is charged, pun intended, with anxiety. Staff double-check electrical connections, verify lines, and confirm readiness over and over. Every subtle noise, every shuffle of papers or equipment feels amplified in the tense silence. The preparation phase is deceptively calm, but underneath, the staff are acutely aware that any mistake could have irreversible consequences. You can almost feel the collective heartbeat of the room, holding tight in the moments before the horrifying procedure is set to begin.
I don't think it happened, though, until after this little snafu happened here, though. They must have tried it on one.
Well, what they were doing was trying to put him on. We're going on.
Debbie, you need to keep an accurate time of the delay. It is now 10:59.
And here's where the tension hits another peak. At 10:59 p.m., the message comes through. The last-minute stay has been denied. The staff breathe, but just barely. This is the legal green light they've been waiting for. Communication is confirmed through a private line, making it official. There's no pause, no reprieve, no second chance. Everyone in the room feels the weight of that denial. Staff double-check everything, not out of routine, but necessity. This is the moment where legality and procedure meet human judgment. They ensure everything is in order, confirming the execution can proceed without legal repercussions. The delay, the confusion earlier, all come to this singular point. Every glance, every whispered instruction carries the invisible weight of consequences that no one in that room will ever forget.
The process is proceeding. The process is proceeding at 11:01. The first surge of electricity has been administered. It's now 11:02.
Then it begins. At 11:01 p.m., the first surge of electricity courses through Richard Boggs. The sound is sudden, shocking, and impossible to ignore, even through a recording. Every spark, Every crackle fills the chamber, a raw and terrifying moment that no dramatization could ever capture. Just a minute later, at 11:02, the second surge is administered, doubling the intensity. You hear staff moving, watching, ready for any sign of complication, every second measured and recorded. By 11:03, the physician inspects Boggs for any remaining signs of life, eyes scanning carefully, confirming what everyone knows deep down. The process is unfolding exactly as grimly planned. Notably, no complications were reported, no errors, no malfunctions. The procedure, for all its horror, goes by the book, but hearing it, you can feel the tension and dread radiating from every voice.
It is now 11:07. The physician has announced the expiration of the inmate. The proceed is required by law with no complications.
And then it's over. There are no last words, nothing uttered by Boggs in those final moments. The room is silent in a way that feels deafening, every movement amplified. At 11:07 p.m., the physician declares him expired, marking the official end of a life, a story, a tragedy. Legal procedures are carried out immediately, property handled as required, every step documented. It's cold, mechanical in some ways, yet the human weight of the room hangs heavy. The execution is complete, but the echoes of those sounds, the chaos, the confusion, the fear, they linger long after the chair goes silent. You're left with questions that don't have answers. How does a young man's life end like this? How does a system handle its own failures in such a raw, public way? Recording the execution is far from a sterile, orderly procedure. Overlapping voices reveal the tension in the room, with staff talking over one another, repeating instructions, and correcting mistakes in a chaotic mix of urgency and stress. Occasional faint applause, likely procedural acknowledgement, feels eerie against the backdrop of the grim task. There's a rhythm to it, a strange combination of calm professionalism and human unease. Every shuffle, every breath, every word carries weight, offering a rare glimpse into the human side of executions. It's clear that behind the rigid protocols are people grappling with fear, responsibility, and mortality, revealing the emotional strain layered into every step of the process. The audio also exposes serious communication errors that nearly jeopardize the execution's legality, highlighting the fragility of a system designed to be precise. Friction, missteps, and repeated clarifications underscore human error and the psychological toll on staff. The raw, unfiltered recording strips away any dramatization, confronting listeners with the stark reality of life-ending decisions. It raises difficult ethical questions: the emotional cost on those carrying out the execution, the role of human accountability, and the tension between law and morality. This chilling glimpse forces reflection on the intersection of procedure, humanity, and the profound consequences of capital punishment. The execution recording reveals procedural flaws, human error, and chaos behind death row walls. Richard Boggs' story exposes the harsh realities of capital punishment, forcing reflection on law, humanity, and systemic fragility. This chilling educational tape captures a rare glimpse of life and death decisions and their unsettling consequences.